Great. So I have my 5 drawings. They are all different sizes. It definitely has at least one hand in it. I have a large hand drawing. I have medium hand drawings. I kind of have a medium shell and then a small shell. Each one has a different interesting viewpoint. Once I'm done with that, I'm going to take a piece of tracing paper and I'm going to put all of my drawings onto the tracing paper. So at this point, if they ever touched each other on my drawing paper, I'm going to separate them when I put them on the tracing paper. So I went ahead and notice how my lines are bold and smooth. They're no longer sketchy. I've transferred all the important details, and I got all 5 of my drawings. Now if I'm going to have more drawings, I can add them onto here also. Put my name on it just so I didn't lose it, or if I lost it, I'd be able to get it back. So it's really important to go back and check in with this project direction sheet because it has your procedures on it. And what we're doing, we're kind of finished up number 1, create line drawings of your hand holding objects. Your hand being held in interesting positions. Total of 5 accurate drawings should be the goal. Some larger, some smaller. Put drawings onto tracing paper. Done. Number 2, draw a border on your white drawing paper. So now we're going to switch over and we're actually starting your project. So you're going to take a piece of the drawing paper that we're going to be working with, and you're going to do a 1-inch border. Don't just put your ruler down and trace around it because it's not 1 inch, and you're going to be cutting off your drawing area. So I'm going to make a couple marks along the edge, each edge, and then I'm going to use my ruler to connect them. Alright, and once I have all 4 sides done, I am ready to start creating a composition. So your final project composition is going to have more than just 5 drawings. It is going to have some of your drawings repeated. And when you put your drawings onto this final paper, you're going to think about the placement. So remember, a composition is design. It's a thoughtful placement of the objects. And we want to do a couple things in specific. We want to overlap, and we want to go off the edge, and we want to make it so that it's interesting to look at, that there's not a focal point right in the middle. So I have my paper, it's got my border on it, I've got my tracings. So in order to start, I'm going to start with my largest drawing, and I'm going to make sure it somehow goes off the edge, and I'm going to make sure that it's not right in the middle. So as I trace over this, and I want to do it carefully, the pressure, since I flipped this paper over, the tracing paper, the pressure will transfer my drawing onto my drawing paper. So this takes a while, but it's when my drawing goes outside of the border, I don't have to trace it, or I could end up erasing it. So keep that in mind. This does get messy because we're working with a lot of graphite again, and if you don't go exactly on the lines, then it won't transfer. So it works by pressure. I do want to use my pencil. I don't want to use a colored pencil or a pen on this because I might flip this over and use the opposite or mirror image. So I started with my largest drawing, and I placed it off center and also off the edge. not going to tape this paper down. A lot of students like to tape it, but if I'm going slowly and really paying attention to what I'm doing, it's not going to slip. All right, so I finished my first one. It is a little bit light, but all of the lines have transferred. If there's a spot that it didn't transfer, I can go ahead and draw it in, but I don't need to make this very, very dark. Our next step, we will make all our lines dark by going over in pen, but don't need to do that now. So the next thing I'm going to do is I'm going to trace this larger one another time. So when I trace this second one, I can flip it. I'm definitely going to rotate it. I don't want to just do this and then just slide it right over and do the exact same thing right next to it. So I'm going to flip it, I'm going to rotate it. Maybe I'm going to have more of it cut off on the edge. So I'm going to transfer this one. Once I have two of my largest drawings transferred, then I'm going to switch over to some of my other drawings. This helps me take up space right away. So I feel that those are like anchors. Now I kind of lost where I had been tracing, so I just check. But like I said, you don't really need to tape it down. If you tape it down, it just ends up tearing the paper. So, And then this one, I'm going to choose not to trace it when it goes outside the border.
Well, I just pulled two of those little bitches out of my class that I'm having so much trouble with.